Capcom has released the trailer for the second year of Street Fighter 6 DLC, and it blew everybody's mind. They promised to surprise everyone with this announcement, and they really did. No one would expect these four characters would show up in the Street Fighter 6. Well, maybe somebody predicted that someone from Street Fighter 3 would make a return, and Elena fits the bill. But the other three? They are a complete surprise. No character outside of Capcom's franchise ever made a guest appearance in the mainline Street Fighter game before. Team-based games like Capcom vs SNK doesn't count. I'm talking about the mainline series. Terry Bogard is a very famous character originally from Fatal Fury. He showed up as a guest character in many other fighting games, like Smash Brothers, Fighting EX Layer, and a female version of him also appear in SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. Fighting game fans love him, and he is also not a stranger to casual fans of the genre. Mai Shiranui is the next surprising DLC character. She is also from Fatal Fury and King of Fighters series made by SNK, the same as Terry. Also the same as Terry is that she has appeared as guest characters in other games, such as Black Desert Online, Honor of Kings, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, Brave Frontier, among other games. So these two characters are chosen to be the first SNK characters to make a guest appearance in the Capcom game because of their popularity. And while I think that Kyo is also a very popular character, I guess Capcom needs to have one female character to draw the crowd's attention. It's very surprising for them to show up in Street Fighter 6. Could this mean that both Capcom and SNK are testing the water for a possible crossover game? Like the next Capcom vs SNK? We can't say for sure, but it's more than just an empty hope now. The next character I want to talk about is Elena. She is a character from Street Fighter 3 and make a return in Street Fighter 4. Even though she skipped Street Fighter 5, she finally make a return here in Street Fighter 6 as a DLC character. She is not a favorite character because of her healing super move, which lets her, well, heals her health. Imagine that after dealing a lot of damage to her, she gets enough meter to heal herself. This basically gives her more health than she actually has, if the player can play her well. I'm curious as to how this mechanic is gonna play in Street Fighter 6 since there's no other character that can heal in this game. And lastly, we have Bison, the iconic villain from the Street Fighter franchise. However, he lost his psycho power in Street Fighter 5 thanks to Ryu's power of nothingness, and he was assumed to die along with the Shadowloo base, or at least that's how it should have been. Personally, I don't think we need Bison to come back. Street Fighter 5 should be the end of the old Street Fighter, the one with Ryu as the protagonist and Bison as the antagonist. Capcom even introduced a brand new character, Luke, as the next hero of the series, as a Street Fighter 5 character even though his story starts in Street Fighter 6. Bringing Bison back would just undo everything that happened in Street Fighter 5. The fight, the journey, the struggle. Also the ending where Ryu used the power of nothingness on Bison is a perfect ending, because it also sealed off Bison's psycho power. So how come Bison is still able to use his psycho power after all that Ryu has done? I don't care if he has amnesia or if he has an identity crisis. Bison's role in the game should be over, and now he doesn't have a redeeming quality that could make him switch side to the protagonist. He is an evil guy who wanted world domination, even if he have to kidnap a kid to accomplish it. We don't need him back. The big reason I can think of why Capcom brought him back is because he's such a popular character they can't afford to lose Bison's loyal fanbase, which is a rational business decision to make, even if at the cost of low continuity. But if Capcom just wants to please Bison's fan, they could have made a Bison costume for JP. It makes sense, right? He's the main villain of Street Fighter 6 that also uses psycho power. So why don't they just make an additional costume for JP? A Bison costume would still draw money from his fans. I'm gonna go on a speculative mode here, but I think Capcom is planning something big with Street Fighter 6 story. First, let me remind you that the story goes like this. It starts from Street Fighter 1, Alpha, 2, 4, 5, 3, and then 6. Shadowloo is destroyed at the end of Street Fighter 5. Right now, there are two groups that are active in Street Fighter 6. Amnesia led by JP and Neo Shadowloo led by Ed. But there's possibly a third organization that's going on behind the scenes. The organization that has already controlled the world from the shadows since a long time ago to fulfill a prophecy. Illuminati. Even though Alex defeated Gil at the end of Street Fighter 3, the group itself is not destroyed or dissolved. Gil is still alive and Illuminati is still controlling its threats from behind the shadows. Could it be that Illuminati is still active in Street Fighter 6? Will we see them more in the next update? Will there be a clash between Amnesia, Neo Shadowloo, Illuminati, and Bison? If so, the story could be huge and we might see more fighters from Illuminati in future updates. I really hope that Bison's comeback can really add a narrative or lore element to the game, and not just some crash grab strategy from Capcom. That is all from me. I hope you guys love this video, and if you do, I'm sure you also like my other video about top 10 fighting games on the PSP.